here because I'm going to tell you about one of my clients. And her story is the exact picture to what's happening to a lot of you right now. Her sales page was getting traffic, real traffic. People were landing on it. She was watching all those page views climb and getting all excited until she checked her actual sales and realized the page only had made her like 3 sales. More like, this launch bought me coffee for the week. So we made 2 tweaks, literally 2 tweaks. And after that, she went on to earn $10,000 from her launch. It was the same offer, the same audience, same everything else. So what changed? We'll get there, but first, let's talk about the sneaky, annoying, surprisingly common reason this happens in the first place. Are you wanting to scale your business with digital products? I'm Becky Beach, and I've grown $1 million digital product empire that earns me passive income while I sleep, eat, and play. Join me each week as we grow our digital product businesses together. This is the Becky Beach Show. Welcome back to the Becky Beach Show. I'm Becky Beach, and today's episode is about how to fix a sales page that's getting no views. Have you ever had one of those moments where you're staring at your analytics like, wait, people are clearly looking at my sales page, but why is literally nobody buying? Because that is the most annoying kind of problem in all the history of online business problems. It's like you spent all weekend baking cookies. Your whole house smells like heaven. People keep wandering into the kitchen, lifting the lid off the cookie jar, leaning real close. Nodding like, those look good. Then just walking away empty-handed. No cookie, no compliment, not even a, hey, can I get that recipe? Just vibes, an awkward exit. And you're staying there like, what the hell just happened? So today we're talking about what to fix when your sales page is getting views but no buyers. And stick with me here because I'm going to tell you about one of my clients. And her story is the exact picture to what's happening to a lot of you right now. Her sales page was getting traffic, real traffic. People were landing on it. She was watching all those page views climb and getting all excited until she checked her actual sales and realized the page only had made her like 3 sales. That's 3, not 0. Definitely not this launch is paying my mortgage and funding my next vacation either. More like, this launch bought me coffee for the week. So we made 2 tweaks, literally 2 tweaks. And after that, she went on to earn $10,000 from her launch. It was the same offer, the same audience, same everything else. So what changed? We'll get there, but first, let's talk about the sneaky, annoying, surprisingly common reason this happens in the first place. Because here's the thing. Usually the problem is not your product. Your offer is probably great, and honestly, it's not even that your sales page is bad. Like, objectively speaking, it's probably fine. The problem is that your sales page is doing a fantastic job at one thing, and a truly terrible thing at the one thing that actually matters. It's doing a great job of explaining the journey, the process, the steps, the modules, the whole here's how we're going to get you the next part, but doing a terrible job at selling the end result. And I know that sounds like, okay, Becky, so what does that even mean? Let's unpack it like we're sitting in a carpool line together, sipping iced coffee that's gone lukewarm, trying to pretend we're not behind on laundry. And also may have forgot to respond to like 6 texts. When people click on your sales page, they're not sitting there with a fresh planner and a highlighter ready to absorb a detailed roadmap to every step they're about to take. They're not looking for the syllabus. They're looking for relief. They're looking for a win. They're looking for that moment where they can finally exhale and think, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. And a lot of sales pages, especially ones written by really good, caring, generous people who genuinely want to help, accidentally do the complete opposite. They make people feel like buying is signing up for a second full-time job. Even if your offer is amazing, even if you're an incredible coach, even if the transformation you're offering is 100% worth it, and you know it would change their life. If the page makes me feel like, okay, so here's 47 steps, 12 modules, 8 worksheets, 3 live calls, a workbook, a resource library, a Slack channel, and also a partridge in a pear tree, your reader just goes, nope, hard pass, I'm already tired. Because here's what you have to remember. Your audience is not reading your sales page from a quiet home office with a candle burning and color-coded calendar open beside them. They're reading it while reheating leftovers for the 3rd time this week. They're dodging a toddler meltdown. They're squeezing in 5 minutes before their next Zoom call. They're reading on their phone in the grocery store parking lot because they finally had a second time to breathe. They want the shortest possible bridge between where they are right now and where they desperately want to be. So if your sales page is getting views but no buyers, I want you to really consider this. Your page might be making the transformation feel far away or complicated or even heavy, or like something they'll have to carve out a whole extra life to accomplish. And overwhelmed people don't buy. Overwhelmed people click out. They bookmark it. They tell themselves, I'll come back to this later when I have more time, which is honestly the biggest lie we tell ourselves on the internet because later never comes. So the fix, and this is the one thing I want you to tattoo on your brain, the fix is almost always this: lead with the end result. Sell the outcome, not the obstacle course. Let me say that again because it's basically the heartbeat of this whole episode. And if you get nothing else, get this: sell the outcome, not the obstacle course. Okay, so let's talk about my client because her story will make this so much clearer. And she came to me feeling super discouraged. And honestly, I totally get it because you've poured your whole heart into creating an offer and you built this sales page and you've been showing up and posting and emailing and doing all of the things. And then you hear crickets. It's personal, even when you try really hard to act like it's not personal. Even when you tell yourself it's not just business and I'm just testing things. It feels personal. She told me people are visiting the page. I can see them landing on it, but they're not buying and I don't understand why. So we pulled up her sales page together and right away, like within the first 30 seconds, I could see exactly what was happening. Her introduction copy was basically a detailed summary of the process she was going to take people through. It was all about the journey, the steps, the how. Then the mock-up image, that visual that shows people what they're actually buying, it made the offer look like so much. Not, wow, so much value, a lot. And wow, that's a lot of work, a lot. It's unintentionally screamed, this is going to be intense. Clear your schedule, prepared to be overwhelmed. So even though the offer itself was actually designed to make things easier for people, the marketing made it feel heavier. And this right here is so incredibly common with people who care, with good teachers, with coaches who genuinely want to help. Because when you're a good teacher, your instinct is to explain. You want people to understand what they're getting. You want it to be thorough. You want to prove that you've thought of everything. And when you're genuinely trying to help people, you start listing everything, every module, every bonus, every call, every resource, because in your mind, that's what's going to prove it's worth the money. But persuasion doesn't actually work like that. Clarity sells. Relief sells. Simplicity sells. And here's the truth that you might sting a little bit. People don't buy information. They don't buy your process. They don't buy your curriculum. They buy the version of themselves they're trying to become. They buy the end result. They buy the feeling of finally having it handled. So we did 2 tweaks to her page, just 2. We tweaked the intro copy and we tweaked the mock-up image. And I want you to hear this really clearly because this is important. These were not make it prettier tweaks. These were not add some design elements or pick a better font tweaks. They were make it clearer tweaks. We changed the intro so it led with the transformation, not the curriculum, not the steps, not here's how we're going to do it part. We led with what they get on the other side, what their life looks after. What problem is solved? What can they finally stop worrying about? And then we adjusted the mock-up image so it supported that same message of simplicity and result. Because here's the thing about visuals. Visuals sell a feeling. They set a tone. They communicate something before a single word is even read. And if your image is saying, this is overwhelming, or this is complicated, or you're going to need a PhD to get through this, then you're going to repel the exact person who needs your help the most. The persons who already stretched thin and overwhelmed is not going to sign up for more overwhelm. So we made the visual match the promise. And after those 2 tweaks, she launched again. And she earned $10,000. That's not magic. That's not some secret formula. That's messaging alignment. That's her sales page finally matching what people actually want when they decide to buy something. Okay, so now you might be sitting here thinking, cool story, Becky, but how do I know if I'm doing the same thing? How do I know if my page has this problem? Let's diagnose it together, like a mini sales page audit, but without making you redo your entire life today. Deal? If your sales page is getting views but no buyers, here are a few things that are probably happening. First, your headline might be describing the vehicle instead of the destination. So instead of saying something like get X result, it's like saying something like learn my proven 6-step method for achieving X. And listen, so instead of saying something like get X result, it's saying something like learn my proven 6-step method for achieving X. And listen, methods are fine, processes are fine, frameworks are totally fine. I love a good framework, but they belong after you hook someone with the outcome, because your reader's brain is doing this lightning fast scan when they land on your page and they're asking themselves one single question. Is this for me and will it help me? And they decide that in like 3 seconds, maybe 5 if you're lucky. So if your headline is making them do their math in their head, like, okay, so if I follow this 6-step process and if I do it right, and then I might end up with a result I want, that's too much friction. That's too much work. You're making them think. You want it to be instant recognition, like, oh yes, that's exactly what I want. Where do I sign up? Second, you might be over-explaining the journey in a way that accidentally makes them feel Second, you may be over-explaining the journey in a way that accidentally makes the result feel way harder than it needs to be. This one is so sneaky because in your mind you think you're being helpful. You think you're being thorough and transparent and setting proper expectations. But what the reader really hears is this is going to take a ton of time, energy, and brain power that I do not currently have. And if your audience is already stretched thin, which let's be honest, most of us are, they're going to pass even if they want the outcome, even if they desperately need it, because the pain of staying exactly where they are right now feels smaller and more manageable than the pain of taking on something new that feels overwhelming. So your job is to make the transformation feel not only possible, but actually doable in their actual life. Not in some fantasy life where they wake up at 5 a.m. with tons of energy and journal for 45 minutes and meal prep on Sundays and never get interrupted by literally anything. And they're real messy, chaotic, I forgot to move the laundry to the dryer again life. Third thing that might be happening, your mock-up image may be sending the completely wrong message. I love a gorgeous mock-up, I really do, but here's what I want you to remember. Mock-ups aren't just pretty, they're not just decoration, they are positioning. If your mock-up looks like a 400-page textbook, don't be surprised when people decide they don't have the bandwidth for that right now. If your mock-up looks cluttered or complicated or like there's 37 different components they're going to have to keep track of and organize and not lose, it creates mental fatigue. And mental fatigue equals no sale every time. So what do we do instead? So we flip the whole entire approach from here's everything you're going to go through to here's who you're going to be when you're done. Because that's what people actually want. They don't want a journey, they want to change. They want to go from I'm stuck and I don't know what I'm doing to I have a clear plan and I feel confident. From I'm completely overwhelmed to I finally feel in control. From I'm guessing and hoping to I actually know what I'm doing. From I keep starting over and never finishing it to I'm finally consistent and it's working. And then this is the key. Once they're emotionally bought into that version of themselves, once they can finally see it and feel it and want it, then you show them the journey in a way that feels supportive. Not heavy, not scary, not like homework they're already dreading, supportive. And think of it like this. If you're trying to sell someone on a vacation, you don't start by saying, okay, so first you'll need to pack your suitcase, and then that's going to take a few hours, and you'll have to drive to the airport, and then deal with the parking. Then you're going to have to go through TSA, and that line might be long. Then your flight might be delayed. Then you'll have to wait at the baggage claim and hope your luggage made it. No. You don't leave with TSA and baggage claim. You start with the destination. You start with that beach chair and the fruity drink and the sunshine on your face and that moment where you finally excel and all the stress melts away. Then once they're completely in love with that vision, they're like, sure, fine, I'll deal with TSA, whatever. I want that beach. Your sales page works exactly the same way. Lead with the beach. Then explain TSA. So if you're listening right now and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've been leading with TSA this whole time, I need you not to panic. This is fixable. This is so fixable. And sometimes, like with my client, it's fixable with literally 2 changes. So here's a really simple way to start shifting your page right. So here's a really simple way to start shifting your page today. Like right now, if you want. Pull up your sales page. Look at the very first section. Your headline, your subheading, your main image, and ask yourself, does this immediately and clearly communicate the end result? Does it feel like relief or does this feel like homework? Because if it feels like homework, it feels like something they're going to have to get through. Your people are going to click away and scroll Instagram and tell themselves, I'll deal with this later. And you deserve better than later. Your offer deserves better than later. Next thing, scan your page for what I call journey overload. This is where you're listing everything, explaining every single step, giving all the details up front, breaking down every module and every call and every bonus. And again, details are not bad. Information is not bad, but too many details too early creates decision fatigue. When your reader feels like they have to understand absolutely everything before they can make a decision, they won't make a decision. They'll just leave. So instead, your page should create certainty, and certainty comes from a clear promise, clear positioning, and a clear path forward. Not from dumping every single feature on them like they're emptying out a junk drawer onto the kitchen floor and going like, look at all this stuff, isn't it great? We're not doing that. We're making it simple. We're making it obvious. We're making it doable. So let's talk about the biggest belief shift that has to happen here, especially if you're someone who loves teaching. Especially if you're someone who's really, really, really good at what you do and you want people to understand how good it is. Your sales page is not a training. It's not a master class. It's not a workshop. It's a decision-making tool. Your job on that page is to get people to understand. Your job on that page is not to get people to understand every step of your process. Your job is to help them decide, and that's it. And people decide based on outcomes. They decide based on identity. They decide based on how they want to feel. They decide based on whether they believe it could actually work for them in their real life with their real limitations. So your sales page needs to help them picture the after. Let them see themselves on the other side. Let them feel the relief of the problem finally being handled. Let them imagine what their life looks like when the scene is no longer weighing on them. And then, yes, absolutely, you back it up with what's included. But you don't lead with what's included. You lead with what it does. Because that's what people are actually buying. Okay, let me bring this back to my client story for a second because it's such a perfect example of this playing out in real life. When we changed her intro text, we didn't just swap out a few words and call it a day. We shifted the entire focus from here's what you'll do to here's what you'll get. From process to outcome, from journey to destination. And when we changed her mock-up image, we made sure it matched this same promise. So the whole top of her page, the whole part people see first, the part that determines whether they keep reading or click away, told one cohesive story. This is the result you want. It's not going to crush your life to get there. And that's what made all the difference. People didn't suddenly become more motivated. This offer didn't magically get better. The sales page simply made the decision easier. And when the decision is easy, the sale happens. So if you're sitting here thinking, okay, but what end result do I even focus on? Like, what am I supposed to lead with? Because sometimes that's the actual hang-up. You know you should lead with the result, but you're not totally sure what that result is, or how to even describe it, or whether it sounds compelling enough. Here's what I want you to remember. The end result is not they complete your modules. It's not they learn the steps. It's not they understand the concept. The end result is a tangible win, the relief, the actual transformation, the before and after that matters to them in their real life. It might be something like you'll launch your offer with a clear path and a sales page that actually converts. Or you'll finally get consistent leads without having to post on social media 24/7. Or you'll know exactly what to say in every situation so you can stop overthinking every single sentence. That's what they want. That's what they're willing to pay for. And if you sell the journey too hard, you'll accidentally make them feel like their transformation is too far away, like this distant thing they'll have to earn through suffering and hard work, when really you want them to feel like it's right there waiting for them, totally doable. So here's your permission slip, friend to friend. You don't have to prove your offer is valuable by making it look big. You don't have to list every single thing to justify the price. You prove it's valuable by making the outcome feel real and believable and worth it. You prove it's valuable by making it feel simple and doable, even for someone who's already overwhelmed. You prove it's valuable by showing them the finish line and saying, I can help you get there. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, I want to wrap this up with a little pep talk, because if you're the one sitting here right now with views and no buyers, I know it could really mess with your head. You start thinking things like, is my offer bad? Am I not credible enough? Do people actually not want this? Maybe I'm just not good at this. And usually no. Usually it's none of those things. Usually you're just not leading with the thing that makes people say yes. And it's not just because you're doing it wrong. It's not just because you're bad at this. It's because you're too close to your own work. You're thinking like a teacher, like an expert, like someone who knows all the steps and wants to share all of them. And your audience is thinking like a tired human who just wants the result. So if your sales page is getting views but no buyers, start here. Fix the headline. Fix the main image. Make the end result the absolute star of the show. Make the journey feel supportive instead of overwhelming. And remember this, clarity creates cash flow. Not complexity, not long lists, not proving how smart you are, clarity. All right, if you want help with this, here's what I do if I were you. I pull up your sales page right now and I rewrite that headline to be outcome first. Lead with the transformation. Lead with what they get. Then I look at your mock-up image and ask yourself, does this look like relief or does this look like homework? And if you want an extra set of eyes on it, this is literally what I do all the time for my clients. You can book a 6-figure scaling call on coachbeckybeach.com/contact. And I'll tell you exactly what's making people hesitate and exactly what to tweak so it feels like a no-brainer. Because you can have the most amazing offer in the world, but if the top of your page is selling TSA instead of the beach, we're fixing that. You can do this. You really can. And tiny tweaks add up fast. Well, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Goodbye. Thanks so much for listening to the Becky Beach Show. Please check out the show notes at beckybeachshow.com and my membership, businessbeachclub.com, to start and scale your own digital products business. Have a great day. See you next time on the Becky Beach Show.